Hi, I'm Alexis Ann, and I was a graduate student attending the University of Montana when in the late fall of 1975, my husband at the time, a Vietnam War veteran, helicopter pilot, returned from his weekend National Guard drill. He informed me that the state of Montana National Guard was going to commission its first female as an officer in the Montana Army National Guard. "You should apply," he said. "Then we can fly all over the world in C-130s. Now, if you've ever flown in a C-130, you know why I'm chuckling. They say the only worst thing for a nagging wife is a nagging husband. So I finally told him I would apply, and if I was selected, I would go. A few months later, I received a call from a Colonel Manist, Chief of Staff, Montana Army National Guard, telling me that I was the final candidate and inviting me to attend a federal board of recognition. Now, know that I was green when it came to military jargon. It was a morning to remember. I sat at a conference table in state headquarters, Helena, Montana, with 7 top brass members of the Guard. The moment that stands out in my mind was a question posed by a full-bird colonel. "Would you ever kill anyone?" Some of the other men at the table groaned. "Well," I said, "if it was between me and him, let's just say I'd be the last one standing." Sometimes things you've never thought of just come to you, and the next month I'm flying from Helena, Montana to Fort McClellan, Anniston, Alabama, for basic officers training as a member of the Women's Army Corps, a 13-and-a-half-week intensive program. The days were longer than I thought could ever be. Every minute was concentrating on leadership training, weapons qualification, both M16 and .45 pistol. There I learned that bras was more than holding the girls up, if you know what I mean, so to speak. Breathe, relax, aim, squeeze. There was lots of marching and physical training. Climbing over that 5.5-foot wall was tough for us women, but we soon increased our upper body strength, and we went over with ease. My company was comprised of 165 women from all over the United States. We were the cream of the crop, educated women selected by each state headquarters. Some states were represented by more than one woman, depending on the population of the state. We engaged in mock combat maneuvers, even though at the time, women were not allowed in combat. Though we were told the future Army would see women in combat. And here, it's important to point out that I realized during my beginning days in the service, the military works ahead of our times and gives you a peek into the future. Another thing we were told was that we would be a one-person army, and that's why they were training women from the National Guard to be officers. We needed to be ready to be called to serve in wartime. The best lesson I learned from the military career is to take care of your troops and to always accomplish the mission. Upon completion of WAC, we called it WAC, W-A-C, the Women's Army Corps training, I was assigned to the 103rd Public Affairs Detachment, Montana Army National Guard, Helena, as the radio and TV officer from 1976 to 1982. Thanks to Uncle Sam for my training in journalism, as my master's degree is in communications. By the second year in the Guard, I made arrangements for some public service, free airtime at the local television station. Thus began my TV show, On Your Guard, which aired monthly for 7 years, earning me an Army Accommodation Medal, the highest peacetime award. After returning home to my hometown of Stonington, I joined the 143rd Military Police Brigade. Rhode Island Army National Guard in Cranston. I served as public affairs officer under the command of the late General Tom Cordner. I separated from the United States Army Reserves in 1992 with the rank of captain. After a brief hitch at a local radio station, I opened my own business, Alexis Advertising Incorporated. In 1990, during the region's economic downturn, I began publishing The Resident with a mission of covering the good people, the good news and the people doing good things in our 64 plus communities. Really, my On Your Guard TV program acted as the foundation for the 30 years of success in publishing the region's staple for good community news. I retired the paper during the lockdown of March 2020. Thankfully, I was able to salute our local veterans in a separate insert, lest we forget, for 3 consecutive years, 2017, 18, and 19. The highlight of my career was assisting through The Resident in bringing home veteran Harry E. Harkness, a local from Hinkley Hill, Pawcatuck. U.S. Sergeant Harkness went missing in action in Korea, November 2nd, 1950. The story with his photo was published in the 2017 issue of The Resident, lest we forget, and upon receipt, a relative of Harry's from Norwich contacted Fort Knox, Kentucky, informing William Cox of the article and mention of Harry's son. Quite ironically, the son was serving in the Army and helped to transport Harry's remains to his final resting place in Evergreen Cemetery, Lansing, Michigan, on March 17th, 2018, beside his wife, Lois. All of this tracks back, take care of your troops, and always accomplish the mission of sharing the good news stories.
Could you just share a message that you would like to leave maybe for future generations who are going to see this?
Right.
Anything that you want to share with them?
Yes, if you ever have the opportunity to either enlist or to enter the military, no matter which branch it is, do it. You won't regret it. It is the best. It's a great career. And even if you don't stay for 20 years full time, it's a wonderful learning experience. As a matter of fact, I tell people it was the best experience above all my education, the best experience I had that prepared me to to continue with my small business during hard times.
And one last question. What do you wish people knew about veterans? Is there something you wish people knew more about?
Yeah, I saw that question. They should know that the camaraderie between the veterans is really tight. It's there's a strong bond between veterans, and we're upfront. And we don't waste time. If we have something to say, we say it, without further ado behind anybody's back, let's say.